your 420 Radio News for Monday, May 12th, 2014. I'm Russ Belville. Moms for Marijuana International, a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting education of marijuana prohibition's harms to families, has named Cheryl Shuman its new executive director. Cheryl takes over the role from founding executive director Sarah Frank, who built a grassroots Facebook campaign into an international organization with tens of thousands of members. Amy Shuman, Cheryl's daughter, will assume the role of deputy director. Quote, "I am honored by the opportunity to join such a dynamic and ambitious organization," said Cheryl Shuman in a press release, "with such a clear and focused mission, improving the lives of the world's most vulnerable women and children," end quote. Cheryl Shuman was the 2013 Seattle HempFest Activist of the Year, and her recent media appearances promoting medical marijuana patients and their vaporization of marijuana include CNN's Piers Morgan Live, The Katie Couric Show, The Ricky Lake Show, The View, ABC's 2020, Good Morning America, and Fox Business News. Quinnipiac University's latest poll on marijuana takes us to Connecticut, where 9 out of 10 residents of the Nutmeg State support the medical use of marijuana. Support for medical marijuana by people under age 30 was an astonishing 99% to 1%. Also, voters in Connecticut support having a medical marijuana dispensary in their neighborhood by almost 7 in 10. Support for marijuana legalization held a slight 52% majority, with 4 out of 5 voters under age 30 in support, and women's support at 49%, just 5 points behind men's. A 61% majority of Connecticut voters believe marijuana is safer than alcohol, and only 16% believe marijuana is more harmful. If marijuana were made more widely available, a majority of 55% still believes that alcohol would be more damaging to society. 47% of voters admit to trying marijuana, but excluding voters over age 65 leaves a large majority of voters who have tried marijuana, up to 62% of those under age 30. Officials in Denver are attempting to stop the Colorado Symphony Orchestra from performing their classically cannabis fundraising concerts where pot smoking will be allowed. But legal experts are calling into question the authority of Denver to do anything about it. Concertgoers would be bringing their own marijuana onto the private property of a gallery with an enclosed outdoor smoking patio. Denver ordinance forbids consuming marijuana, quote, openly and publicly, which the patio would not be. The Clean Indoor Air Act allows smoking on patios. Amendment 64, which legalized marijuana, does not allow consumption of marijuana, quote, openly and publicly, end quote, which activist attorney Rob Corey argues means both conditions must exist. One could smoke openly on a private patio or front porch, that is, open but not public, or even smoke surreptitiously in a public park where that would be public but not open. Officials in Humboldt County, California are investigating the poisoning of a dog of a wildlife biologist as potential retaliation by drug cartels over his reports on illegal marijuana growers' use of a prohibited rat poison. Wildlife disease expert Morad Gabriel has been studying the decline of the Pacific fisher, a predator related to the weasel, that may be added to the endangered species list. Gabriel has been tracing the deaths of fishers back to 2009 and found these animals dying of massive internal hemorrhaging brought on by highly potent rat poison that is banned for all but professional exterminators and certain commercial agricultural operations. While fisher deaths have been traced to their consumption of rodents that eat the poison, that poison works its way up the food chain. Since the poison causes a sort of hemophilia, animals can bleed out from a slight cut or bite, and no one would suspect it died of the poison. Wildlife biologists fear the potential spread of this poison to wild game and eventually humans. Cannabis freedom fighters march for homegrown medical on annual trek across Capitol Hill from the Capitol Hill Seattle blog. There are still things to march for when it comes to marijuana in Washington state. Activists who came out to Saturday's annual Cannabis Freedom March and Volunteer Park Rally want to make sure you won't be inadvertently sucking the life out of the state's existing medical marijuana system after making your first legal purchase of cannabis this July. Initiative 648, an effort to put protections of medical marijuana rights in place in the state and support homegrown pot as a medical alternative for citizens, made a strong presence at Saturday's rally. This has been your 420 Radio News for Monday, May 12th, 2014. I'm Russ Belville. Transcripts of 420 Radio News are available from our website at 420radio.org. When we come back, we'll go behind the headlines and take a look at the controversy over the labeling of medicated edibles and the obvious symbol they could use to make it clear to everyone. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.